everybody, welcome to Darkestic's cooking show. Sorry for the delay. Today I am Rogue from X-Men. Woohoo! I am more of a civilian kind of adult version of it. My own take on what she would be wearing around right now. Today I am going to show you how to make sushi with the seaweed on the outside. Seeing how it's been a while since I made this, we're all going to have fun testing this out. Everybody needs practice on how to learn how to make it. I am not professionally trained, so I will not be using any raw product in this making of it. No raw fish, no raw meat, no nothing. And I will also be showing you how to make onigiri, a rice ball with some seasoning in it, wrapped up in seaweed, which you can take on picnics and is great. Anyway, let's get the show on the road and get it going. Hi everybody! Let's start making some sushi. So, first thing you're going to need is some nori, which is seaweed. You can get this at any store. You can pick this up at an Asian supermarket. You can even pick it up at Superstore, Safeway. Any grocery store should have it. And I cut mine in half for this one. I do have a bigger piece for the bigger rolls. So I'm going to be showing you how to make some sushi. Let's get going. So we're going to take some rice, and what we do is you put the rice down. You try not to smear it. What you want is it to actually just like sit on there, packed a little bit and nicely. Also make sure you put like saran wrap or something over your sushi roller, which I will show you here after I make this. I put mine in a Ziploc bag and take all the air out of it. So after that's done, you take all of that off. You put your veggies in. Now I'm going to put some mini cucumber. What you're going to do is you're going to stick it down on one side. Now these cucumbers I cut into small pieces so that way it's easy to roll. If the pieces are too big, it will actually rip up. So about there. And so I'm also going to put in, this is pickled daikon that was cut into strips at the market. They're normally, for like a nice big pack of it, it's about $2. And then what you do, take a little bit of your mayo. Try to put it all the way across. Try not to put too much, for it may cause a little issue with your sushi. Make sure your point's on point. And then what you do is you roll it. And then you roll it. What you do is you make sure you like tuck it in. And voila, you have a sushi roll. Now I'll put that aside. So good to get the hands out of the gloves though. So yeah, this is my sushi roller. I put it in a Ziploc bag. It's a lot easier to handle than actually just using it without it, because the rice and seaweed will get stuck in your bamboo or anything you're trying to use to roll. So this one, I'm going to use the bigger one, and what we're going to do is we're going to use a barbecued tuna, which I picked up today. You can use canned tuna, fresh tuna. unless you actually have been professionally trained how to handle the raw portions of fish, such as tuna, salmon, ahi, and all sorts of that, I would suggest making sure you use cooked products or stuff that says tuna, or grab stuff that's like sashimi that's been pre-made. And I did pre-cook this rice. This rice has to be kind of cooled down. You don't have to have it perfectly cold, but it does need to be cooled down. You can use day-old rice for this. It's great to use short grain rice for this. And you should always have water with you when doing this. And I forgot. Now you need your fingers so sticky. But take a little tuna. This is barbecue tuna. I put a little barbecue sauce on it. And this is canned. It's very delicious. I picked it up from an Asian market. It's albacore tuna. And then you take gillian peppers. So you want your veggies to be straight, cut, and not too big, because you want to make sure that you can bite through it. If they're too big, you can't bite through it. And then you're going to take cucumber as well. So what tuna doesn't go good with cucumber? And this is going to be delicious. Now, let's see. Should we add daikon or should we not? I think we should not. We already have a daikon. This is our veggie roll. So now. Oh, too much. If you use a spoon or even a squeeze bottle, try not to put too much. Because then it will squeeze out on all ends. Now make sure it's centered for when you roll it. And just peel it back and just roll. Now these are known as inside out rolls. Or inside rolls, where the seaweed's on the outside. And now what you do is this, because the bamboo is no longer dirty, it'll be easier to clean now. So that way you can just clean the bag, wipe it down, give it like nice hot water, and your bamboo's not ruined. Because if you get the bamboo too wet, it'll start to build up mold, which is not what you want. So you always want to make sure it's wrapped up in something. This is a gallon size plastic bag in which it really works. You can use anything, just make sure it's clean. Because you don't want something that had raw chicken to do this. And next, I'm going to show you how to cut these rolls. Okay, so what you want to do is take a clean knife. Make sure it's a little wet, and then what you'll do, because this is our plate, as you can see, that will be our plate, and you will gently cut. I wanted to show you this last time, and you will gently cut and then place. You can do this for any party, any company, but if you're going out, like a picnic, I wouldn't suggest, ooh, look at that, using any kind of seafood. Seafood, when it gets really at room temperature too long outside, it will actually start to make you sick. So the last thing you want to be doing is eating fish that had gone rotten. I would suggest either some way to keep it cold, or maybe some way to just maybe do veggies. You can do seafood while you're at home. Just make sure you store it correctly. Even though it's canned, it can make you sick if it stays out too long. Now, as you can tell, I made these pretty wide, and they will make so many. And this entire dish right here cost me only maybe about less than $10, and that's with extra stuff. So you can make loads, even lots more than this. Enough to make, like, with $10 you can have enough to make enough for 30 people. Now this one is going to be fun, because I did not put enough rice on one end of it, as you can tell. Now you want to make sure it's kept together as you cut. And apparently daikon doesn't like to cut, so that happens now and again. Seaweed doesn't want to stick to it. And now I will show you how to make onigiri. Hi everybody. Now, always also make sure your wig stays out of your food. That is our sushi rolls. Look how delicious they look. And those are just simple, like, things you could do. You can do, like, pick up a can of salmon, or you can do any veggies in there, mix it up. You can even make a tuna salad, put it in there. But like I said, make sure you keep in mind how long it's going to be outside. Like, if you're going to eat it, like, within an hour outside, it should be okay as long as it's not too hot. But you got to make sure it stays relatively cool if it's seafood. So, our next thing, I'm going to put our nice mat down. Make sure nothing sticks. We are going to make onigiri. So onigiri is a little bit different than normal things. So this is rice seasoning. You'll make your, it'll normally be seasoned with, like, bonito flakes, and it always has seaweed in it, and then it will also have sometimes little shrimps, dried shrimps. It always have soya beans and all sorts of things. There are different kinds of this, so do keep in mind of your allergies. They're not all the same. So please do check the labels if you can. So what you do is you take a little bit, sprinkle it on your rice, because you're going to mix this up in your rice. Now, you're going to fold your rice. This is why you want your rice to be cooked. Now, you have to use sushi rice to do this, because you need sticky rice. You need it to be able to stick together. It can get messy, like I said. There are ways of doing this. Make sure your hands are clean when you do this. That's why you always have a clean cutting board, clean surface. Now, for the fun part, make sure your hands are wiped off. So you'll take some nori, stick this in the center. Now this will also keep the rice a little bit from drying, and you just fold it from corner to corner. Like so. Then you fold this corner up, like so. And then you fold this. Now this will keep your onigiri fresher longer if you go out. The seaweed will absorb the rice's water and make it a little soft, but it will still contain the flavor of it, and it'll be delicious. This you can pack no matter what around with you all day long, but don't make sure not to bake it in a nice summer heat, which can get almost like around 40 Celsius, 100 Fahrenheit. You do not want to make sure any food whatsoever is baking out that long unless it's like supposed to be super hot. And this is your onigiri. Now, what you do is if you're going to split it with somebody, you don't have to cut it in half, but seeing how I might be sharing it with one of the X-Men if they actually catch me cooking, this is a good snack for while you're on missions too. It's great for photo shoots because it's small and it won't ruin your cosplay or anything. It'll give you your carbs and your protein as well, if depending on what you stick in there. It can be very delicious. And so that is how we make sushi at home. We will do an rice outside sushi eventually, I believe next month, where I will be making a different kind of sushi, more fancier kind. Nobody's perfect at sushi, but it's good to do practice. You always want to do practice as you're doing it. Okay, everybody, and that was sushi and onigiri, which is delicious. Now this was my take on how to simply make it so that way everybody can enjoy it. It does take practice. As you can tell, I'm not the perfect best at it. I've not been trained, but I did learn on my own. So I wanted to show you my way of how to make it. But we will try again next month with something even more ingredients. And I will show you how to make, I'm hoping, show you how to make some miso soup or some teriyaki, something delicious like that. And we also today made onigiri, which is rice balls, which is delicious, right? Make sure you check those seasonings and products. And it's great for cons. Anyway, I did go to the con last weekend, Anime Revolution Winter. I went as my Ringmaster Joker, which is awesome, but I also for the first time ever competed in a contest. I did not win, but nonetheless, it was fun. My first time doing it, nervous as all sit on stage. But anyway, I will post the pictures and videos of it on my page, Darkestic's cosplay fashion page on Facebook. Come and join me and keep up to date, and I will see you next week, I hope. Anyway, have an awesome time and enjoy the food. Rogue says bye, Shug.